Okay, we're starting with, this is chapter 16, and we have China and the Neolithic age. And here is the highlighted areas that we're looking at on the world map. We're starting here with the Neolithic age of China with the Majayao pottery. It's earthenware, early earthenware. These are considered culture vases, and it's from the Jiangsu province, China, 2600 to 2300 BCE. We have the Chang, they consider it Shang dynasty, Chinese Shang dynasty, the Tao Ti mask. It's a mask of abstracted shapes commonly found on ancient Chinese bronze vessels. Very detailed textural vessel. Guang, probably from Anyang, China, in the Shang dynasty, 12th or 11th century BCE. The Shangjingdui is, we have the standing male figure from Pit 2 in Shangjingdui, China. This is circa 1200 to 1050 BCE, and Shangdui Museum is where it's currently living. Okay, we have, it is a bronze statue. It's 8 feet tall. It is highly stylized, has elongated proportions and has large staring eyes. It stands on a base with 4 legs formed or from stylized elephant trunks and heads. The statue tapers gently as it rises, and the figure becomes rounder. Just below the neck, great arms branch dramatically outward, ending in oversized hands that once held an object, which is probably most likely one of the elephant tusks that are buried in Pit 2 with the bronze statue. The surface decorations are of squared spirals and hook-pointed curves. Classical art of China. The Zhou dynasty is 1045 to 221 BCE. They have a new concept of kingship, where the monarch was the son of heaven and had divine mandate to rule the earth. China's great philosophers are Confucius, Laozi, Mozi, and Zhangzi. The Chinese jade disc here has dragons on it from Jinkung near Liaoyang, China, which is the Eastern Zhou dynasty. It's the 4th to 3rd century BCE. These discs represented heaven. They're metaphors for fortitude and moral perfection of a superior person. They have magical qualities which are capable of protecting the dead. This is the Qin dynasty, 221 to 206 BCE. We have here the terracotta soldiers from the Qin dynasty in Lintong, China, and it's 210 BCE. So this shows where they were excavated, and then the museum setting. We have the Lintong army consists of thousands of terracotta statues of cavalry, chariots, lancers, and hand-to-hand fighters which guarded the emperor's burial mound, which covered a treasure-filled palace for the afterlife. Xing Hongdi was the first emperor of China Qin dynasty. By varying the combination of parts and the colorization, the sculptors individualized every single figure in stances, arm positions, garment folds, equipment, their hair and facial features all vary. These are 6 feet tall. Some are fierce, some are proud, some look confident, and they're all made of molds. Taoism is seen in the individualization of each soldier despite their numbers. Originally, they were colorfully painted. They were discovered in 1974. And in Taoism, the way is a religious journey. It's an escape from society's pressures, achieving serenity. They're working towards oneness with nature. It's emphasized with individual expression and doing unto others. Yin and Yang are well-known Taoist symbols. The Han dynasty is 206 BCE to 220 CE. We have a funerary banner here from Lady Di's tomb, Tomb 1, and it's Magwadi, China in the Han Dynasty in 168 BCE. This is painted silk. I have an old dog. Can you hear him coughing in the background? Oh my God. Okay, so the tomb was found with over 100 objects in 1972. It is a T-shaped silk banner that covers the inner coffin where her body is, and it was probably carried in procession to the tomb, then placed over the body to speed its journey to the afterlife. Again, in Taoism, we have the yin symbols on the left, we have yang symbols at the right, and in the center, the two are mixed, the mixed philosophies. And then it's painted in 3 distinct regions. At the top, we have heaven with the crescent moon at the left, and the legend of the 10 suns at the right. In the center, we have 2 seated officers which guard the entrance to the heavenly world. In the middle, we have Earth with Lady Di in the center on a white platform about to make her journey to heaven. And she's carrying a walking stick that was found inside her tomb. Mourners and assistants appear by her side. Dragons' bodies are symbolically circled through a Bai disc, which is associated with heaven, and a yin and yang exchange. At the bottom, we have the underworld, the symbolic low creatures from the underworld scene. We have fish, turtles, dragon tails, and tomb guardians that protect Lady Di's body. Confucianism is a respect for traditional values. The Archer Yi and the reception in a mansion, we have it's from the Wu family shrine in Xinjiang, China, Han Dynasty, 147 to 168. This is an example of a rubbing of a stone relief. The 6 dynasties from 220 to 580. We have the northern and southern dynasties. This is an example of a mandorla, which is a flame-like almond-shaped nimbus here on the Shakyamuni and Prabhutaratna from the Hebei province in northern Wei dynasty, which is made of gilded bronze, and they are in the Laditsana pose. In this Wei dynasty, 581 to 618, we have the Amitabha. It's the Buddha of the Western Pure Land. So all these are different examples of bronze Buddha. It's an altarpiece with the Amitabha and attendants. This is in China, Sui dynasty, 593. The Tang dynasty is 618 to 907 CE. The Vairocana Buddha is here with his disciples and bodhisattvas. The Fengjun Temple and the Longmen Caves in Liaoyang, China, Chang Dynasty. This was completed in 676 CE. So this is an important artwork that we're going to go over. The Vairocana Buddha is within caves along the banks of the Yi River. Their sculptures and reliefs are carved from existing rocks. Some are colossal and some are really small. Documents attest that 800,000 people worked on the site. 110,000 Buddhist stone statues are here, with more than 60 stupas and 2,800 inscriptions on steles. The Buddha is arranged as if he's on an altar of a temple, deeply set into a rock face. Inscriptions state that the Empress Wu Zetian was the principal patroness of the site, and she used her private funds to finance this project. The Vairocana Buddha has monk attendants, bodhisattvas, and guardians, which flanked on either side. We have examples of elongated legs and exaggerated poses. Workers on the site and the patrons who created this gained a merit for their actions, often was intended to better the afterlife for their deceased ancestors. The site was added to for over 400 years. Sculptures, all the early ones were done in central China style with the Northern Wei style, which had the slim figures influenced by Indian statuary, while the later ones were done in the Great Tang style, featuring graceful lines and naturalistic forms. We have the Chinese Song Dynasty. I have some Chinese paintings to show you. They're mostly done on silk scrolls. They were hanging scrolls or they were hand scrolls, and they used album leaves and fans. They made fans out of these as well. Leiching is a solitary temple amid the clearing peaks. Notice in this we have atmospheric perspective where the subject at the bottom is closer and clearer, and then as the landscape recedes into space, it gets a little less detailed, and then kind of a more smoky atmospheric look in the background. Here we have an example of the pagoda in the Lao Dynasty. It's an East Asian reliquary tower that's built with successively smaller repeated stories, and each story is usually marked by an elaborate projecting roof. So this is an example of a pagoda. And then we have another example of a Song Dynasty silk artwork. It has its album leaf ink and colors on silk. It's Mayon on a mountain path in spring during the Southern Song period, which is the early 13th century. And so again, you see clarity up front, and then in the upper left, you see a receding landscape that has atmospheric perspective, which is important for these.